Alright, let's dive into something that's got the cycling world buzzing right now. Imagine this, you're gearing up for one of the most anticipated stages of ParisNice, the Queen Stage, where riders are set to battle it out on a grueling mountaintop finish in Auron. But then, Mother Nature decides to throw a curveball, heavy snowfall, and conditions so extreme that organizers have no choice but to shorten the stage. Crazy, right? But here's what makes this really interesting. It's not just about the weather, it's about the decisions, the implications, and what this says about the sport as a whole. First off, let's talk about the decision itself. The organizers didn't just wake up one morning and say, hey, let's cut 18 kilometers off the route. This was a collaborative effort involving the city of Nice, local authorities, the UCI, team representatives, and even rider associations. Personally, I think this level of coordination is fascinating. It shows how much goes on behind the scenes to ensure rider safety, which, let's be honest, is often taken for granted. What many people don't realize is that these decisions aren't just about the race, they're about protecting livelihoods, careers, and lives. If you take a step back and think about it, this is a prime example of how modern sports governance works in high-pressure situations. Now, let's talk about the implications for the race itself. The original route was 138.7 kilometers, ending with a brutal climb to Auron. But now, it's been trimmed down to 120.4 kilometers, with the finish line moved to Isola. Here's where it gets intriguing. The shortened route still includes two climbs, Côte de Carrosse and Côte de Bouillon, but the absence of that final mountain finish could completely change the race dynamics. In my opinion, this could level the playing field for riders who aren't pure climbers but have strong all-around abilities. What this really suggests is that adaptability is key in cycling, both for the riders and the organizers. Another detail I find fascinating is the timing of this decision. It wasn't made weeks in advance, it was announced just a day before the stage. This raises a deeper question: how do riders mentally prepare for such last-minute changes? Imagine training for months to tackle a specific course, only to have it altered at the 11th hour. From my perspective, this highlights the mental resilience required in professional cycling, a side of the sport that often gets overshadowed by physical prowess. Now, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. Extreme weather disrupting major sporting events isn't exactly new, but it's becoming more frequent. Whether it's heat waves, floods, or in this case, heavy snowfall, climate change is increasingly playing a role in how sports are organized. Personally, I think this is a trend we're going to see more of in the coming years. It's not just about ParisNice, it's about every outdoor sport grappling with an unpredictable environment. What this really suggests is that sports organizers need to start building more flexibility into their planning, something that's easier said than done. Finally, let's talk about the human element. The general classification leader going into this stage has a comfortable lead, but with the route change, anything could happen. One thing that immediately stands out is how this could shake up the standings. A rider who was counting on the mountain finish to solidify their lead might now find themselves vulnerable. In my opinion, this adds an extra layer of unpredictability to the race, which, let's be honest, is what makes sports so thrilling. So here's my closing thought. While it's easy to see this route change as a disappointment or an inconvenience, I think it's also an opportunity. It's a chance to see how riders and organizers adapt under pressure, and it's a reminder of the broader challenges facing outdoor sports in an era of climate change. What makes this really interesting is that it's not just a story about a race, it's a story about resilience, collaboration, and the future of sports. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your take on this.